What's up, everybody? So, welcome to the channel. If you're a fan of college football, you obviously know that the season technically has started already. Iowa State beat Kansas State, I believe, 24-21 this past weekend, and Michigan is set to play this weekend against New Mexico. So that's going to be a really interesting game. A lot of proving is going to go on during that time frame. We got a lot of freshmen starting, and it's going to be a really interesting time to see us transition from the remnants of the team that won a national championship. Not this past year, obviously Ohio State won it the year prior, and they're going to be moving a lot of players got drafted. Obviously, we had a very stagnant offense last year, so it's going to be interesting to see if the offense takes those necessary steps forward to move from a 8-5 win team to a double digit win team again. Um, as obviously if you followed sports at all, and specifically college at all in the last year or so, you know that Bryce Underwood is the name to watch. Obviously, this game against New Mexico is going to be enormous because he has been named a starter at this point in time, and it's only a couple days from now. So Coach Moore obviously has confidence that he is able, physically, mentally, ready to take that step, even though he is a freshman. It is clear that he is ready, at least according to the Michigan coaches. So that's going to be a big deal. Obviously, that is something that is very rare in college football. You don't often see a freshman starting. So that's going to be really interesting. I think Johnny Manziel and Jameis Winston were the last two big names that I remember starting. So there's obviously been others, but those are the names I remember as being the standouts. It's very rare for a freshman to be a standout. So a couple other names you're going to see here up on the screen. You're going to see Justice Haynes, the transfer from Alabama. That's huge for Michigan to have that reestablish that run game because last year Khalil Mullins and to a certain extent Donovan Edwards was there, but Khalil Mullins was the heart of that offense basically because our passing offense was anemic, dead in the water for most games. So now that we have two established running backs we know that they're good. Jordan Marshall had a great game last year against Alabama. He was part of the reason why we actually won that game. So it's really good to see we have that back again. And of course, we have Max Bredesen back, and even though he is a fullback by position and he is a graduate transfer, this is his last year. Um, it's good to have him as a leadership role, and he obviously is a physical player. He's capable of blocking and all the other things necessary from a player of his, not just his stature per se, but his experience and his leadership ability is really what's going to help Michigan on offense. Because once again, Bryce Edwards is a freshman, so having that guy on the field with him is really going to be helpful. Wide receivers, they have a grad transfer. I believe he's from Indiana, Donovan McCulley, a big dude, 6'5". He's going to give them some size, and I should hope he'll be possession wise. He'll really help them with that because once again, last year their passing offense just wasn't there, and now partially it's because they had no way throwing. Yes, but wide receivers need to take a step up. A surprising name behind him is the redshirt freshman Channing Goodwin. I didn't know much about him. Really didn't. So it's going to be interesting to see if he steps up as much as they say he has in camp. It's going to be interesting to see what he does. Of course, you have Samaj Morgan, who has been a team for going on. I believe he's a junior, so about 3 years now, and he did not redshirt, so he is a true junior player. It's going to be really interesting to see if he really takes that next step. He's not a big guy, but he is fast, as we know. Frederick Moore, the other junior. I know he's been around, but I have not seen him really do much. But you hope that these guys step up and do that. So, um, let's see. Of course, the offensive line. Some of those guys, like El Hadi, Giovanni El Hadi, he's been around for a while, and he's good. They're going to need him to step up really big in terms of leadership and most of the seniors will be asked to, but him specifically, he's right in the middle of that line there. So um, I heard that due to injuries or something. Evan Link had to take a spot. I'm not familiar with him, but he is a redshirt sophomore, so he's been with the team for at least a year, so he does know. That'd be what, 2 years? So he does know the at least the basics, and he's obviously competent enough to start. Andrew Sprague, redshirt freshman, he was fairly highly touted, as I remember. So it's gonna be good to see give test him out, especially against a team like New Mexico, who nothing against New Mexico, but they're not a Penn State or Ohio State. Good to get him some reps and see where he's at. So that's mostly it for the offense. There's a couple other players like I was kind of surprised, honestly, seeing Jaden Davis buried so far on the depth chart. He's behind Jake Garcia, who's a graduate transfer. I didn't know who Jake Garcia was. So, like, no offense to him, but I thought Jaden Davis would be um, a little farther up the depth chart, maybe in front of Mikey Keene even. But to be fair, Mikey Keene is a graduate transfer, I believe, from Fresno State, so he does have that experience. So we'll see. I thought he'd be higher personally, but um, tight end wise, there's a couple different tight ends. Michigan does really good rotating their tight ends out. Klein, Hansen. Hansen is a physical big guy. So it'd be good to see how they utilize him. I'm assuming he'll be more of a run blocker, but I'm sure he's going to do just fine in the passing too. He's a sophomore. He's been on the team 2 years. He knows the drill. Defense wise, this is where Michigan was really strong last year. Basically won them games. Will Johnson basically won them the game against USC with his pick six. There's a couple that happened in multiple games. Ohio State and Alabama specifically, Michigan's defense was crazy. So they're playing a 4-2-5 here. The big names on here, Derek Moore, he's a senior. He is going to have to step up. No question. If Michigan wants to be successful, again, basically in the line, in the trenches, he has to step up. Um, of course, there's Rayshon Benny. He's a graduate. He's been there for a while now. They're going to ask him to do a lot. TJ Guy, he's a linebacker, but he comes off the edge a lot too. And Michigan's linebackers, they have two amazing linebackers. They're going to be really difficult to replace next year, but they have them this year. Hausman and Barnum, these guys are incredible. So it's going to be interesting to see if both of them step up and really become like live to their potential, or if they're good but not great. So that'll be interesting. In the secondary, they got Jair Hill. Um, these guys, they do have the Metcalfs transfers. I don't know if it's two of them or one of them, but they came, I believe, from Arkansas. So it's they have experience and they played in the SEC, which while you can debate whether the SEC is better than the Big Ten or not, they still played at a Division One school, Arkansas. So these guys are good. Zeke Berry stepped up last year, really. He was starting towards the end of the season, really starting to step up. And of course, we have Rod Moore, even though he is second. He is second, the second free safety. He's player 2 on the depth chart. Rod Moore is the man. He's going to be the leader of the defense, at least in the secondary. Him and Derek Moore are really going to have to really keep those guys, especially the freshmen, really in line and really on point and be the leader. Special teams wise, Dominic Zavada came back, so that's huge. He's an amazing dude. A lot of the other guys, like Samash Morgan's on returns, should be fine. Marion Stewart, the redshirt freshman, really highly touted, but we'll see. He is a redshirt freshman, and just like all the other redshirt freshmen, he's probably gonna either have to wait his turn or he'll maybe make mistakes as they do. So, Jordan Marshall's also in the kick returning game, and I don't even know who Anthony Simpson is. Looks like he's a transfer wide receiver. Don't know much about him. No, have never seen tape on him. But if he works out, then hey, that's gonna be good for Michigan. Yeah. So right now we're just this game against New Mexico is really going to be kind of a test. Are they going to step up and show, hey, you know, even though this is New Mexico State once again, no offense to them, but are they going to show, hey, we're miles ahead, or is this a Michigan team that, while better, still has a lot of work to do? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there, and I think there's going to be some gelling that goes on. People are still going to take some time to come together and work as a team because while practice, there's they play against each other and all that. There is something about game, pad on pad, game time, game speed, and all that you can't simulate in practice. So if Michigan is able to get over those things quickly, and mind you, they have the next game after that is Oklahoma. That's going to be a huge game. And I don't know that if they're going to win that game um, right now, but if they blow the doors off New Mexico State and Oklahoma struggles in their games before their first game, then perhaps Michigan actually has a chance. But right off the rip, I would say Oklahoma is easily favored in that game because Michigan has not proven anything yet. But if they prove themselves against New Mexico, maybe the lines will change. But I don't see Michigan beating Oklahoma at home if they resemble anything like the team last year. So we can just hope. But as of right now, that's that the starters are for the three wide receivers are McCauley, Moore, and Morgan. Left tackles Evan Link, left guard El Hadi, center is Crippen, who's another senior, so that's good. Right guard is Afobe, right tackle is Sprague. The starting tight end will be Marlon Klein, but of course Hogan Hansen is right behind him. If they run two tight end sets, that's the guy who's going to be there. Quarterback as of right now is Underwood. Running back 1 is Haynes, 2 is Jordan Marshall, and of course the fullback is Max Bredesen. Coming off the defense, sorry. The primary D end is going to be Rayshon Benny. Nose tackle will be Trey Williams. He's a graduate transfer. Don't know much about him, but if he's good enough to start, hey, more power to him. Trey Pierce is also another defensive tackle. He's going to be on the interior, so it's going to be good if he can be disruptive and start, pulling guys off of Derek Moore. Then it's going to be big. You have obviously Derek Moore. Then you have Barnum and Hausman as the linebackers. The Will in the mid. Right, TJ Guy is the right linebacker. I see him being more of an edge guy, but we'll see. Then you have Jair Hill as cornerback, the primary, but you have Shamari Earls. He's a freshman. He's number 2 on that. And then Jeremiah Lowe is number 3. Strong safety of Brendan Hillman. He's a junior, so he's obviously been a while. He probably knows the system. Whether he lives up to that, we'll see. And of course, Curtis Mason's in front of Rod Moore at the free safety position, but I imagine those two will do a lot of changing out. And like I said, you have the other cornerbacks are Zeke Berry and Josiah Edmond. So there's a lot of experience and there's a lot of new guys. So we'll see there. And of course, the nickelbacks are the TJ Metcalf, and his brother is fourth on the other corner. He's a 4th-string cornerback. I imagine he'll see playing time. I imagine this roster will change a bit and he'll see some playing time. So the other two nickelbacks are Jacob Oden and Jordan Young, but they're both freshmen. One's a redshirt freshman, one's a true freshman. So their playing time may be up in the air depending on how the individuals are performing. So if somebody can distinguish themselves from the pack, then odds are they will get playing time. It just kind of makes sense. So yeah, so that is right now how the roster is currently set. Obviously, special teams, I've already gone over that, but yeah, I think having Dominic Zavada back is huge. That's big. So, um, Michigan's never had this huge return game. Woodson was good. Howard was good. You know, Preppers is good, but that's not what Michigan's known for. But if Samaj Morgan can, put a couple points on the board throughout the season, nobody's going to complain. So, but yeah, so that is Michigan's roster for the moment. So when Saturday finally comes around, we are going to see what happens. And of course, we hope for the best. And like I said, a lot of respect in New Mexico, but I think Michigan's probably going to blow their doors off. If it's not 31-10, I would, you know, at the end of the game and towards the game, I would be really surprised. But anyways, yep. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, like, subscribe. I'm kind of new, so I'm starting this up, and we'll see where it goes. But thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and go blue. Have a good one.